Think back to a summer when you were 7 years old. It felt endless. Days stretched out like they had no end. Now, a year passes and you can barely remember where it went. But the real answer is far stranger than, you're just busy now. Your brain is not measuring time the way you think it is. It never has. Here's what's actually happening. Time isn't tracked by a clock inside your head, it's tracked by memory. Every new experience gets logged as a separate event, stamped with detail. Familiar routines barely get logged at all. Psychologist Robert Ornstein proposed that your brain judges the length of time passed by how much information it stored during that time. More new memories, more perceived time. Fewer new memories, time collapses. Think about that summer again. Everything was new. New smells, new friends, new rules. Your brain was recording constantly, building a thick file of memory for every single day. Now compare that to last Tuesday. Wake up, commute, work, eat, sleep, repeat. Your brain barely bothers to file any of it away. Nothing stood out, so nothing gets remembered. And a week that isn't remembered feels like it never really happened. There's a second force at work, and it's mathematical. In 1897, French philosopher Paul Janet described what's now called the proportional theory of time perception. To a 5-year-old, 1 year is 20% of their entire life. To a 50-year-old, 1 year is 2%. Each year gets smaller relative to everything that came before it. So even without a single change in your memory, time would still feel like it's accelerating simply because you have more life stacked up behind you. Neuroscientist David Eagleman took this further with the concept of the brain's internal clock. His research found that during unfamiliar or dangerous moments, the brain lays down memories so densely that time seems to stretch, almost like it's happening in slow motion. That's why a car accident can feel like it lasts forever, even though it's over in 2 seconds. It isn't that time itself changes. It's that your brain is writing so much detail that when you play it back, it feels longer. Which means the opposite is also true. A life without novelty writes almost nothing down. And a life with nothing written down feels like it barely happened at all. Here's the part that should unsettle you a little. This isn't really about time. It's about attention. Your brain isn't a passive clock ticking away in the background. It's an editor, deciding in real time what's worth keeping. And it has decided that autopilot doesn't deserve a page in your life story. So why does adulthood feel like autopilot? Because routine is efficient. Your brain evolved to conserve energy, not to make your life feel long. Predicting what happens next takes almost no effort once a pattern is set. Walking the same route to work, eating the same breakfast, having the same conversations, efficient for survival, devastating for memory. Ancient humans didn't live this way. Every day carried real, immediate novelty. New terrain, new threats, new weather to read. Their brains had no choice but to stay switched on, which means, in a strange way, their lives may have felt longer to them than yours does to you, even if they lived far fewer years. So what do you do with this? Novelty is the lever. Not a bigger life, not more free time, just more first times. A new route home, a conversation with a stranger, a skill you're bad at yet. Each one forces your brain to write a fuller entry. And a fuller entry is what your future self will measure as a lot happened this year, instead of where did it go? Now, think back to that summer one more time. It wasn't longer because you were young. It was longer because you were paying attention to almost everything. You still have that ability. It never left. You just stopped using it. The clock in your head was never counting seconds. It was counting how awake you were for them.